Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Taylor Wilde. Welcome back to Wilde on Season 4, the podcast where you get the insider's view of the weird, wonderful, wild world of wrestling. On Wednesdays. Today's guest is an independent pro wrestler. She is also an owner and booker of the all-female promotion WrestleDex. She's a model and a hustler extraordinaire. Girl oozes women's empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, my girl, AC Rizzy.
I'm excited that you asked me to be on here. I've actually been wanting to meet you for a really long time.
Oh, girl, that's so nice. You've been in the business for a hot minute.
Me? Yes. I think I'm going on 10 and a half years.
Time flies, doesn't it?
I feel like I just started. I'm still traumatized from those experiences. I have not recovered at all.
Oh, well, do you want to talk about any of them?
What is there to talk about? I think we all know how traumatizing it is to be a new wrestler.
No, it's true. It is really scary.
I'm too comfortable now, though.
No such. Well, I mean, you earn it, right? Like, comfort is, I don't know, it's subjective. You have to be in your happy medium.
Yeah, I have really terrible imposter syndrome to where now I'm like, oh, I have the respect of my mentors and my people I've always wanted to have the respect of, and my peers, and I'm like, is this a prank? It's gotta be a prank. There's no way that I'm getting there, right?
Yeah, it's funny when that happens though, because it's you expect there to be some sort of transition, but just one day you're friends with Victoria or Jazz, and Trish Stratus is asking to be on your podcast, and you're like, when did this happen? I hear you, but it's such a nice...
And it's crazy for me. I do believe, they say don't meet your heroes, don't meet them because they're crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
Yeah, it's hard.
I love my journey so far.
Good.
I want to do this for another 20 years.
You know what? That's beautiful. And look, you are creating your own niche. You're running your own all-women promotion. Let's dive into that. You're a booker, you're a promoter, you're a hustler. What's it like running your own promotion, from your perspective? Because it's different as a woman.
Not only as a woman, I think just even as just a wrestler, going from being a professional wrestler to being a promoter / producer, director, because I did most of everything else except the actual wrestling. It hurts. It's a hurt that hurts different.
Yeah.
I was knocked out for about 3 days after that weekend. From the stress, maybe, I don't know, from finalizing everything.
Wow.
That was the most stressful thing I've ever experienced in my life. I attune it to, I don't have children, but I felt like I had a baby.
Yeah.
I just slaved away I have 5 million different jobs. So I worked and I worked and I worked and I worked to be able to afford it, get the sponsorships, whatever I had to do to make this happen.
Sure.
And then finally the day came, and it was in labor, and I was in labor for hours. And then finally you're hearing, the pop from the crowd, and they're behind it. They love that you have a house DJ, never been done before. And you do well at the door. And then as everything is closing down, I'm like, oh, that was a big baby.
I love that.
And I've never experienced it, so I could be totally off base right now.
No, I think, you get it. You're built for it. So you have some sort of intuition. So would you do it again?
10/10.
Yeah, 10/10 would recommend. I love it. Now, did you run it in Charlotte then?
Yes. Only because it's where I live. I'm very familiar with the type of wrestling crowd that we have, and also I'm very close to a lot of people in nightlife, so I took a different approach to my marketing, because wrestling is not just for wrestling fans, it's for everybody to enjoy.
Yes, for sure. And I know you have an OnlyFans, and you also side hustle in the the adult industry, women's adult industry. It's for everybody, women, men. But it's true, obviously we've moved light years ahead of where we were before. Women's wrestling is taken very seriously, but at the same time we have characters, and there's a huge sexualized component to it, and a lot of people that go to women's wrestling shows aren't there necessarily for the sport. Some are, But let's be real, it's marketing to a certain audience. And like, we love that audience. Thank you, audience. You pay our bills. You let us do what we love. So good for you for capitalizing on. Yeah. Do you want to talk about your OnlyFans? Because I feel like this is something that was taboo even a year ago. And now it's like, girl, why don't you have an OnlyFans? Like, it's, you know what I mean? Has it changed the game for you?
Yes, it has. Like a lot,
Good.
especially everybody's acceptance of it.
Sure.
I came into wrestling. I was 21 years old. I've already been an adult entertainer in the strip clubs for 3 years, 4 years at that point, full time.
Oh, you were a baby getting into that.
I was always very independent.
Okay.
So it worked out. It was I don't think I should have done it, but I'm still glad that I did.
Yeah.
But coming into wrestling, this was maybe like 2012 is when I started coming around, especially all the women at the time.
Yeah.
It was very hard to like even come out with that because as soon as someone found out, it was like, oh my gosh,
Right.
this is what she does.
Sure.
Oh, she's not a serious wrestler. She just wants to be hot and have attention and all that or whatever.
Right.
In my head, that really hurt me because I stayed dancing because of the flexibility and the financial freedom so that I can be really, really good at this.
Of course.
Wrestler, that's all I wanted. I don't really care to be on TV. Okay, yeah, I kind of do, right? But I wanted to be good at it because I really love it.
Sure.
And so now that everyone's kind of opened up and been like, oh, it's really not that bad. It's okay to own your femininity or your masculinity in whatever space that is. And it doesn't make you someone with low morals. It doesn't make you attention seeking. In my opinion, it makes you smart. So to be in this capacity, such a relief because I don't feel the need to hide.
Right. Nor should you. Nor like I remember when Jordan Grace was getting like a lot of flack from what she was doing, and she, full transparency, I'm sure wouldn't mind me saying this, but she's made some really solid months. Like rent was done for about 6 months in 1 month, and she's not doing anything that's morally compromising. So why should it offend anybody else? Like, you don't have to look at it. You choose to pay to unlock what you look at. And someone like Toni Storm, who I thought handled her situation really smart, because this is a woman who had her privacy and intimate moment with a boyfriend leaked onto the internet. And you didn't see her face, but she's one of those unfortunate souls. She had a tattoo on her hand. It was in the video. So whatever. And the biggest thing,
I got to be careful because I'm completely tatted. I can't do any of that.
No sexy videos. And bless her, she was like really young in the video too. So it was like kind of bordering on like some child porn.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, you run into the risk as a public person. Someone can hack your phone and leak private photos and videos that were never meant for you. And she did her OnlyFans, in her own way, coming soon. Everyone was popping off, waiting for the Toni Storm OnlyFans. And Homegirl, I think, made $40K in her first day. And she took her power back. She took her power back from whoever leaked her video.
She gave me some of that power.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes. And that's how she felt. She was like, you know what? Someone took a piece of me. They stole my footage. They leaked it on the internet for everyone to see while she's a WWE superstar. Like, that shit is like beyond viral. And
it's so invasive.
It's
so invasive.
It's horrible. So for her to do her OnlyFans account and do it the way she wanted and release photos the way she wanted, to take that money, it's like, yes, girl. and
there's something about like this type of industry, which I don't know her that well. I know her through mutual friends. Apparently it seems like it's going really well for her, which is like fantastic, because I feel like people look at us from the outside and they're like, oh, they have low self-esteem, whatever, right? No, this industry has given me so much confidence. Nothing can faze me. And it's probably the reason why I've been surviving wrestling this whole time. I'm not going to lie.
100%. And I was going to say for you, you know, it was very common, especially in the 90s, for women to come from exotic dancing backgrounds into wrestling because the politicking, the way you have to handle yourself backstage was very similar. It's a very similar world. Would you say that kind of gave you a leg up in the business?
Yes, yes. To the point where, I mean, I think I was so prepared when it came time to really, you get humbled when you're new, and you really, you're taught that, hey, look, you're not really worth anything right now until you figure it out. You got to earn it.
Yeah.
Because of these difficult personalities from the entertainment industry, I was like so unfazed. And I remember I came up with Amber O'Neal, and yeah, okay, we can talk about her in a little bit because I love Amber.
Yeah, I was gonna. Okay, you go. You just reminded me of something. Go.
Oh my God, she's awesome. But like, coming up, like, I remember being taught like how difficult everybody was, and like my experiences, like people try to make me cry, people try to break my nose in the ring, things like that. But I was already used to like girls like threatening to shank me over like $5, where I was like,
it's funny, not funny. You know what I mean? Like
funny, not funny. It's one of those things where you gotta be like in the know to find the hilariousness of it.
Yeah. Amber told me a story a long time ago, back in her day. She was like, girl, it is dog eat dog. She apparently burned some girl with a curly but like, so,
I was just texting with her today. I'm gonna have to bring this up because I've known her since I started, so I'm surprised she's never told me that. But it's like that.
You have to ask her. But any like horror stories that are now funny for you from back in your younger dancing days that you want to share? Because
I remember I was probably blacked out drunk.
So was there a lot of that, like, to survive? Because like I can only imagine, you're a baby, get naked. It doesn't matter like how empowered, how good you are. Like
I think what I find kind of hilarious now, especially because I have the experience and the wisdom and all that. But when I was younger, what was so traumatizing is seeing how women were seen in that aspect, especially behind those doors and behind those walls of the club. And I'm not talking about like I choose to be objectified, right? I don't think it's wrong if you have a choice, as long as it's your choice.
Yep.
But when I was so young, I that's when I really realized just the kind of like misogyny that exists, even amongst women too, and I was really traumatized by it. But it was these nights where I went over it. And, we get sexually assaulted almost every shift. This is just the reality. It's not a glamorous job.
Wow.
It's not a glamorous job. It was traumatizing at first. Yeah. I'm kind of desensitized, but like you kind of get stronger, and you like Tony Storm, you find your power. Yeah. You learn a lot about people. So I've learned so much about different walks of life. So it's okay. So maybe it's not funny that we get sexually assaulted. Maybe that's just like my sick humor to like survive.
Completely. You got to cope. However, you need to cope.
But that was bad. I would say those type of stories, which it could get graphic. It could be something as funny as like, I'm spreading my legs on stage. I think I'm comfortable. The guy gets a little too close, grabs $1 and tries to like stick it in my butthole, things like that. I hate it at the time, but right now it's funny.
Yeah, no, I get you. And I appreciate.
For tonight, it's not going to be funny.
No. Tonight it's not. Well, that's what I'm hearing from you is like, okay, you were young. Of course it's traumatizing, and everything you went through, like from the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry. Like, it doesn't matter that you're choosing to be in the sex industry that doesn't give a man or woman the right to touch you in any way that you don't feel is comfortable. So like that's just it. So my love goes to you, but like also fucking girl power. Like, you make your money, boo boo.
I think that's why I'm like really good at fighting, because I've had to fight for myself for so long.
Yeah, and you must have such firm boundaries, especially with men. Like you don't strike me as the type that unless you're working and you have to do it, you're not like like, you know who you are, you know what is okay, and you know what's not okay. And to me, that is so fucking important backstage when it comes to wrestling. So good for you, girl.
There's almost like an art form to it too. And maybe it could be kind of in the way that you conduct yourself in the locker room, where it's like, you know, a guy does, you know, you think this could be $1,000 guy. It really could be. And you really think there's something there. And then he's just like overstepping boundaries. And you're like, no, 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 honey. You know what's so sexy? Consent is sexy. And I just didn't consent. And it saves it every time. So if anyone is like an aspiring dancer, like use that line if you were dealing with something, instead of like, you know, because I've popped off and been like, what do you think you're doing? Blah, blah, blah. Totally lost my class.
Right.
I mean, understandable.
Yeah.
But then I was like, man, that guy had like $500 on it.
But it's true. It's a work. Like everything is a work. And it's, yeah, like I read Jenna Jameson's book back in the day when she was, you know, talking about how things were like, there's so much money in dancing. And that's what she talked about was the art form of manipulation and like flirting. And there's so much mental into it as well, which I think is really cool. Ugh. My phone camera just is not being my friend anymore. It keeps dying, but that's okay. That's why we have Zoom video.
Okay, like, because I'm also kind of rigged up here myself. My ring light is broken.
You look stunning. So in terms of going from wrestler to female promoter, what inspired you to do that, to make that leap? Because that's huge.
There's definitely a story to this. So I think there was a really big surge in awareness just right before the pandemic started, where it was like, y'all, women aren't really in charge in wrestling, and you know, or women of minorities aren't in charge of wrestling, et cetera, et cetera. And I remember, you know, kind of like agreeing, you know, on Twitter, right? Agree, agree. But I wasn't doing anything about it. And then I was talking to my boyfriend, who is a former NXT guy. And, you know, he also runs his wrestling shows. He's very good at it. He's my mentor. So like, I was talking to him about it and I was like, man, like, what's going on? What's going on? And he's like, why don't you just do it? And I was like, oh, just do it. Like, just do it, instead of being like, yeah, there needs to be more, just do it. And I started talking to my girlfriends in the business.
Yep.
And I was like, I had these ideas. And because I'm also not just a wrestler, like I'm in show business. I've been dancing. I'm a trained dancer since I was a child, ballet, hip hop, whatever, etc. Wow. I go to I love shows like Cirque du Soleil, and I love music festivals. So I love show business.
Right.
So I have these ideas from what I know, and everyone was like, you need to do this. And what I really wanted to do was like create this environment for women wrestling to thrive. I want to prove that it can make money. I don't want to hear women's wrestling doesn't make money. Okay, well, it just sucks that you're a terrible business person. Right. Okay, that's what it sounds like to me.
Right.
If McDonald's can sell those terrible ass burgers and make money, we can sell women's wrestling.
Absolutely.
So I plan to have like a seminar. I want to give scholarships to chosen wrestler trainees or up and coming wrestlers so that they can learn from the best. So I really want to recreate the sisterhood that I came up in.
That's really beautiful. I don't even know what to say to that, because I feel like that's where we kind of lose ourselves, because we're all kind of gunning for that one position. You know, we all want to be on WWE, or we all want to be on AEW, but we forget about the foundation.
There's nothing that makes me more happy than to be with my sisters in the business. Like, that's when I'm the most happiest. And my brothers too. You know, we're a big family.
Of course.
And I don't know. They're talking to a lot of, you know, my friends. There's this agreement where we all feel like the business has lost that sparkle.
Yes.
Because it's so cutthroat.
Yeah.
And I've talked to new wrestlers, trainees, and I've talked to my veterans as well. So I've heard it from different sides, because I want to get to the bottom of it. Yeah. You're not going to see me posting about it on Twitter or anything like that. I'm doing something about it.
Yeah.
So when I talk to everybody, all the veterans are like, oh, these kids, like, they don't know what to do. And then you have these new wrestlers that are like, no, I need a mentor.
Yeah.
I can't find a mentor. I don't know who to talk to find mentorship. And I'm like, there's a disconnect here.
Yeah, I agree.
The disconnect. So that's what is fueling me to just work so hard and get this show like going regularly, because we need the space. Shimmer's not around anymore.
Yep. We need a new all women's wrestling league that's run by women. That is legit. Like, Shimmer did so well for so long. But thankfully those women ended up on TV, but we still need that foundation. We need that foundation indie show where women can come up in the business and grow. So
yes. And it's so weird that you had just said, all those, they're all on TV now.
Yeah.
Because the people that are my vets are on TV now.
Right.
And I have to like text them and be like, I'm not ready to be a vet. What do I do? I'm not ready. I'm still a baby, like all my vets just left. And I'm like, okay, so I just have to, so now we run wrestling and
yeah,
like, what do I do?
That's it. It's all in your hands now, girl.
Literally, I'm still now running a wrestling show to make sure everyone's okay.
So with you being so like multifaceted and, having a really interesting background that you've come from, what would you like our listeners, your fans, to know about you that maybe they wouldn't be able to Google, or maybe is something you want to debunk? Is there anything you'd like to tell your listeners that,
Yes. So a lot of like my dancing jobs or experience with me in wrestling, me producing my own wrestling show, and like you see me, I make my own websites. I do all this artistic stuff.
Yeah.
I draw, whatever. I'm really just an art nerd.
Oh.
I get really bored. And I have to like learn to do something, make something.
Yeah.
And I know like online, the only thing that people talk about is like my wrestling and then like my OnlyFans.
Sure.
Or like, oh, she's a stripper, whatever,
Right.
But there's more to me than that. Like, I'm very, very passionate. I take my job very, very seriously.
Of course.
Yes, strippers, we take our jobs very seriously.
Of course.
At least a good one does.
Well, your job is based 100% on commission.
Oh yeah. If I don't talk, I don't make money. I can't just sit in the corner, and we have to pay to be there.
Oh, wow.
People don't know that we have to pay to be there. It's like a hairstylist where you rent the booth. I have to rent, it's our house fees, and then you got to tip out the bouncer, the house mom, the DJs, and anyone else that helps you make money. You got to give them a little something because money speaks, right?
Right.
So if I go in and I'm just like I don't feel like talking to anybody, I'm not gonna make money.
Jesus. I honestly, my hat's off to you. That is hard, because there's days where I'm sure you wake up and you're just like, no, not today, but I have to.
Yes. And I'm actually like, I'm planning on doing it tonight. I really want to sleep because I just got back from Nashville yesterday.
Oh.
I went to, I had free tickets to SummerSlam and my plane was delayed. So that didn't happen.
Oh no.
And then, but I did go to Ric Flair's last match. So I had like a really awesome, fast weekend. And I'm like, man, I really want to sleep.
It's 9 o'clock.
But I got to go to work.
Fair enough.
I have a show to run. I got flights to pay for.
Yeah, I hear you, girl. And it's all going towards a good cause, but I'm sure exhaust. And you're oh man, how many nights a week do you work your shoot job?
So I have 2 shoot jobs right now. I dance. I try to go in at least twice a week.
Okay.
My goal is 3-4 times a week.
Okay.
4 times is a lot. Even if you're just dancing, it's a lot.
Yeah.
My other job is I work from home for a clinic in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
I do that full time as well. So I am tired.
Yes. When do you have time to train?
Yeah, it's a problem because I don't. Our school here in Charlotte at High Spots, that's where I learned from George South.
Hi.
We just shut down. It wasn't doing well. The owner of High Spots is focusing more on, the store and WrestleCon and all that. There is a school about an hour and a half away. I'm trying to find my way over there at some point, but it's such a long drive with that many hours I work.
Yeah.
So as of now, like I literally have a stripper pole in my apartment. So that is my training because it's the only thing I can do to like stay active rather than going like just the gym.
Jeez.
I miss training. I
Yeah,
miss it.
fair enough. But that's completely understandable. And like you said, you got to work out and you work nights and you have a daytime job. Like that girl, you are working hard.
Yeah, it's not glamorous. I know, like I've had like people look at me be like, "Oh, you're always so hustling." I admire it. I admire it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not sleeping. I don't recommend it. Like, don't. I'm just extra. Like, I work a lot because I want to fund extra stuff.
Sure.
Like, I can't chill out. So I'm like, just don't. Just be a minimalist. Like, don't drink alcohol. It's expensive.
Yeah.
You know, just eat at home. Don't get Uber Eats every day like me. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But I miss training. I used to, when I was coming up at high school, I was training with George South, Caleb Conley, Cedric, Alexander. I mean, we were training. It was 3 days a week, about 4 hours.
Wow.
So it's 12 hours a week.
Wow.
And that's not including like ring time over the weekend, right? I miss that.
That's amazing. Caleb is awesome.
He's also my ex-boyfriend, but he's awesome.
Okay. Hey.
He's awesome. He's awesome. We're not as close as we used to be, but I just saw him the other day. We were like reminiscing about Daphne, because you know he was with her for a while. Me and her were just so close, so close. So yeah, he's awesome. He's a cool cat.
Yeah, he is a good dude. He works really hard. He's never really gotten the break that he deserves. Like he's done some great things on TV, but I really feel like his time is still to come because he's so fucking talented.
He's still young.
True.
He's what, maybe 4 years older than me or something. But like, I sometimes have these moments where I'm like, oh, we're all getting old. You know, my boyfriend, he's 2.5 years older than me.
Yeah.
We're like, we're getting old. Like, you're never gonna get your job back. I'm never gonna get a job. I'm like texting people at WWE. I'm like, is there still a chance? Like, I'm depressed. You know, but then everyone's like, no. You know, I turned 32 in a couple weeks. Okay. So they're like, you're good. You're good. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I did Impact one time and it was a really bad time in my life. Okay. And so like, I want to come back and like show them that I recovered from that moment. Sure. So I don't know. There's so much that I want to do. Like, I don't even want to work. Like, I just want to wrestle.
Yeah. I get it. I feel that from my core. Timing is everything. You know that. You just got to keep grinding like you're doing, and yeah, all the stars will align and you'll get another opportunity. It will happen. You're working too damn hard for it to not happen.
Yes. Right? Right. I'm scared I'm going to be like this, like at 55. I'm like still in the strip club being like, am I going to get a job one day? It's my dream, you know?
I mean, older ladies can be spicy too. Like, there's no age cap. But I hope for you that that's not the deal.
I mean, I could totally be like a Mae Young. Like, you can bring me in at that age.
Absolutely. It's funny. I keep bringing Jordan Grace back up, but I was just speaking with her the other day, and I was like, you know, I'm hungry. Like, I'm so ready to get back to Impact because I had some personal life stuff come up. It derailed the momentum I had coming back after retirement, but I'm like good to go. And I'm like, you know, my clock's ticking, and I'm usually not one to like scrutinize about age because I think age is, it's not linear. It's a thing, but it doesn't really mean anything. And she's like, girl, just be that old bitch on TV. Like, who cares when it happens? Like, I'm so sick of men being able to age gracefully on TV. She's like, just be an old woman on TV. And I was like, yes.
Yes, that's amazing. This is a thought I have every day. Yeah. I'm like, all these guys, like when they're at the height of their careers, they're like 45, gray, not even in the best shape that they were 10 years ago. Like with women, we got to look 25 until we're not. And then that's it. Like your career's over. And it's like, wait. Last time I checked, it takes like 10 or 15 years to master this.
Yep.
So we're going to be older.
I know. Let's be that. Let's be the old bitches on TV. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, if all these young guys want to be like, oh, she's old, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, I go harder than you. So.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got the mental fortitude to like keep on grinding. So let's do my top 10 tailor-made questions. It's kind of like a speed round, but don't feel rushed. Okay.
Okay.
Name a beauty product you cannot live without.
Face oil.
Face oil. Are you a dry skin girl then?
It's actually because I have oily skin.
Okay.
So if you get like, just find your favorite brand, like whatever it is,
Yeah.
and then usually an oil, like after you wash your face, do some a scrub or something,
Yeah.
and then you could do like your moisturizer,
Yeah.
but do an oil
Ah,
for like a week.
okay.
It's so like, so apparently the idea is, I'm not a dermatologist,
Yeah, yeah.
so don't quote me. Um, when your skin is really oily is because it's overcompensating for the fact that you're probably like really drying your skin or something like that.
Ah.
Yeah, or using harsh, whatever it is. I don't know. But using oil and moisturizer actually reduces oily skin, and it does.
Interesting. Well, you have beautiful skin, so it works.
It's amazing. Like I'm so weird about like skincare.
Oh,
I'm weird about it.
me too.
I am at the med spa and like the dermatologist all the time.
Same.
I'm like, fix this,
Yeah.
fix it right here.
Because
Because
this you can't reverse. Like it doesn't matter how much Botox, filler, like those are great things and very important. But like the surface area's got to look good.
Yeah, and I have my like performance makeup. Like if I go to work tonight, this is what I'm wearing.
Right.
But at the same time, like I don't like to wear makeup
Yeah.
when I'm not getting paid for it.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I like to have my skin breathe.
Yeah.
But also when I'm not wearing makeup running errands around town, I want to look healthy.
Yeah.
And sometimes healthy skin is the first layer of makeup that you put on.
Yes.
I agree.
That's a good
Good
quote.
quote.
What is your favorite exercise?
Dancing around the pole in my underwear for hours.
Oh, yes, girl. You're exercising and getting paid. You're so smart.
I love it. Like I love like getting like, if I can't sleep at night and I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna drink a coffee, put on some jams, and just strip into my underwear so I'm comfortable and I have like skin that I can hold onto the pole and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like dancing, even if you're not doing anything, just like twirling and like doing little spins and stuff. It is, first of all, pole dancing
Yeah.
is the hardest thing. It's almost harder than wrestling. They're like different forms of hard, but it's hard.
Yeah.
And I don't do pole tricks anymore, but I'm trying to get back into it because I blew both my shoulders out like 5 years ago.
Okay.
So I'm getting back into that right now. But it is a crazy workout. Like I know, girl, I know you've been in the ring where you have to do like round robins.
Sure.
And bump, bump, bump. You're jumping up, you're jumping down, and you're just like,
Yeah.
now imagine like practicing on the pole and like, when you dance at work, you can't be
Right. Yeah.
right. It's almost an exercise in of itself.
That's really interesting. I've never thought of it that way. But yeah, shit.
That's why I love wrestling, because I can like huff and puff and it's part of the act.
It's so funny. You're such a worker. I love it. What is your biggest pet peeve?
When people not necessarily like don't respond to your text or anything like that, but kind of leave things ambiguous.
Okay. Yep.
Where I'm like, you can tell me if I'm being annoying. I just need to know.
Right.
Like, don't make me guess.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, okay, well, are we gonna go to do our plans?
Yeah.
If you want to cancel, that's fine. I'm an introvert. Like,
Yeah.
you cancel, like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll find something else to do.
Excellent.
It's fine. But ambiguity, not knowing what's going on with the other person.
Yeah.
Don't do that to people. I hate it.
I couldn't agree more. Who is your celebrity crush?
I have a few. I'll go with Leonardo DiCaprio only because he was my celebrity crush from growing up in the 90s. And I think he's aging well. And I think he is a fantastic actor. I love to study him. I'm very intrigued by him. So I would say he's my celebrity crush long term.
Okay.
Number 2, Michael Jackson.
The dichotomy that you just hit there, like we could do a whole episode on just that situation right there, but we'll leave it there. Oh, interesting. Okay. What is or who is your favorite band or artist?
Favorite artist, Michael Jackson. I would definitely probably with artists go to a lot of producers. I'm very, very involved with like the EDM scene or the bass music scene.
Okay.
I have a lot of producer friends and DJ friends. So I would say Joyride.
Okay.
That's my favorite DJ and producer. I know like probably a lot of people watching this are like, what's she talking about? Joyride, look it up.
I'm
It's
gonna
Big
look it
House.
up.
It's like so much fun.
Cool.
I love Big House music. And if it was like a band, like if we were talking rock, it'd have to be Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, nice. You're very well rounded. I feel like people are getting a whole other side to you that they don't know about.
Ask the right questions.
That's true. Do you have a secret vice like drinking a glass of wine in the shower?
Yeah, I smoke pot like 24/7.
Beautiful. Who doesn't?
That's my thing. Like and my vape, which I always have my vape nearby. This is my nicotine vape.
Oh, nice. Very sleek.
It's lime.
Is it legal in your state or are you still struggling?
So we have CBD.
Okay.
I think we just voted in medical marijuana, which I'm like, okay, awesome. Rights are starting to like show up
You're
here.
getting there.
But we have like the Delta 8 and like I'm not like a connoisseur or anything like that. I'm as much weed as I've smoked my entire life. I'm like, I don't care what it is as long as it helps me sleep and makes TV funny.
Yeah.
But like those Delta 8, I started getting the Delta 8 like disposables, like the oils.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah, different game, whole different world.
I'm like, how is this is legal? And it is. It's legal.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I love my pot. Literally, my dog's name is Leela Sativa.
Oh, it's really cute. What wrestler has the best entrance music?
Lita.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. Like and it's probably a very cliche answer, but I don't care. I'm like Lita.
You know what? No one has said Lita thus far, but that's a really obvious one. What is your drink of choice?
Drink of choice. Triple shot of espresso with oat milk and Splenda. And maybe some Kahlua in it.
I like you. What has been your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
I pissed myself.
We all do. Do a big
the way I bumped right on my kidney, man. And it was honestly what it was. It was Amber O'Neal. She gave me the X Factor.
Yeah.
And I just went boom. And I was wearing this like new gear that was like neon green. I was still a new wrestler. And I didn't know that I pissed myself until like I think Shane Helms was in the crowd at that local show. And he's like, I really like your green gear, you know, because he wears his green stuff.
Sure.
And he's like, but he said something. I'm like, but you could really see your piss stain, or he didn't say that, but something like that. And I was like, man. Also, maybe like my boob has popped out a few times.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just I feel like I'm gonna have to change my top 10 tailor-made questions because there is not a female professional. No, I'm gonna keep it. There's not a single one of us that hasn't peed. So, you know, it's solidarity, sisters. Like, you are not alone.
Hey, thank God.
Oh, no, girl.
I'm very secure with myself, and I tell people that, and they're like, oh my God, you peed? No. I'm like, yeah, because I work hard.
You haven't wrestled enough matches if you haven't peed yourself. You're not a vet yet.
Yeah, okay. I get what that's coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, because I really wouldn't. When I bump, I throw myself.
That's it.
Will I die? I don't know.
No, I hope not. Where can our listeners find you on social media?
My Instagram is at ac.rizzy. My wrestling promotions Instagram is at WrestleDex. And I don't have Twitter anymore. I deleted it, even though John Cena followed me. I still deleted it.
Girl.
Yeah, I was too toxic. Too toxic for me. And then my OnlyFans is AC Rizzy. And where else? Pretty much Instagram is really where I post. Oh, and I have a TikTok.
Oh, very nice.
No, I don't even know the
That's okay.
Because I made it as a parody.
I love it.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. It is Rasslervet. So RASSLERVET.
I love it. Okay, last one. Finish this lyric. Billie Jean is not my
love. lover. She's just a girl that said I am the one, but the kid is not my son.
Yeah.
I never sing. So
You
you pull that out of me.
You have been the best singer we've had on the show in 4 seasons. That was amazing.
Well, why we gotta pick Michael Jackson? He goes too high. Like, he goes too high. I'm like, oh. I'm like, I can't reach that high note.
You nailed it, girl. Talk about Jill of all trades. I mean, she's a female promoter running an all-female show. She's a professional wrestler who's been in the business a considerable amount of time. She's taking her power back by continuing to be an out there spoken exotic dancer who's raking it up on her OnlyFans account. And let's be real here, homegirl can sing. I'm really sorry that I left that as the last question. We should do like Wilde on Wednesday karaoke with some of our guests, and she's going to be the first on the list I call. I hope you guys all enjoy all the content we bring you weekly when we get Wilde on Wednesdays, and I could not get wild with you all without my badass punk rock girl band, the Wilde On team. My queen, my right-hand woman, editor and producer, Rochelle Douris, the woman who does everything marketing interwebs that I don't understand, but I definitely need, Madison Golshani, our sweet baby angel, helper, doer of things, and singer of the Wilde On theme song, My Entrance Music, Sam Smith, and to all our technological worries and nightmares, we go to our homeboy from Superkick Studios in Toronto, Matteo Sessa. Thank you. I love you guys. And until next week, keep calm and wild on.